It's not Genshin too hard. It's just I don't fucking have the characters geared enough. You know? I gotta gear the characters. Like, if my Nuvolite had, like, a little bit more levels on his fucking, basic attack, ult, and skill, I think we could maybe cut it down to, like, maybe, like, 75 seconds. But even that, I mean, it's not like we fucking get to it. 180. Yeah, I'll see 3. When is Stygian reset? I think it's still set 2 days left, right? I could do it later. Yeah. I could do it tomorrow. Nah, I don't have his normal crown, and his skill and ult aren't very high level either. They're like fucking 5 and 4 or some shit. I could definitely raise those. I don't think my what's it called? The Scofier skill levels are very high either. Farina's the only one in that whole team that's pretty good. Am I playing RE9 on release? Yeah, we are. When's RE9 release day? Hopefully it doesn't overlap with anything I have to do. 5 days? Yeah, what's a day? 26 or 27? Hopefully it's 26 or 27, because 28th we have something we need to do. But hopefully, if it's not on the 28th, we should be fine. Okay. Third permanent mode in Enfield will be open on the 24th, but from what I've heard, it's a puzzle combat mode. What is that? Interesting, okay. Alright, here we go. It's Higo till the end of stream, right? Yeah. Alright, what were we on? What was the last one we did? That hasn't happened. None of these have happened. No, these haven't happened either. It could be this one next. Let's try this. Nope, it's not. Okay. Wait, we have the truth of the Shuraka. No, okay, we don't have the both of these yet. I think we have C103. Yeah, we did this one. We can't, this isn't it either. Okay. Oh wait, this. Oh, I'm actually stupid. This one's obvious. Okay. Wait, hold up, chat. Let me see here. A second. Trying to order dinner. What's up, Jamalu? Oh, is that place closed? That place is so good. Oh no, it's open. Hell yeah. Let's go. Oh, closing soon. Fuck. No, the one I ordered from is closed. No! What's the point?
素晴らしい。実に素晴らしい。本音を言わせてもらえば、私はこのひなみ沢症候群の研究はあまり期待していませんでした。
仮に進むとしても、10年単位で3歩進んで2歩下がるような研究になると思っていました。
No, not Chipotle. There's another Mexican restaurant that's like really good.
それが短期間の間にこれだけの成果を上げられるとは。入江所長の努力と指導の賜物です。
そんなことはありません。
Oh, they're buttering EDA up so that, you know, he keeps working for their asses.
私を支えてくださる優秀なスタッフとそちらの高野さんのおかげです。
ご謙遜を。やはり脳に関しては入江所長は天才ですわ。何しろ脳に関しては誰も及ばない実績をお持ちなのですから。
そうですな。あなたと同じ年の医者であなたほど大勢の脳みそをご覧になってきた方はおりますまい。
おめでとうございます、イデ兄さん。
Oh my god. It's a man himself.
私もこれで東京に胸を張って報告に帰れます。
富武さんに良いお土産が持たせられて光栄です。あとニサというのはご勘弁を。どうしても馴染めませんので。
Alright, good night.
というかリサさんって聞こえるんですよね。
まるで女性の名前みたいに聞こえますね。
でも二郎さんも影の立役者ですわね。なかなか成果の出せない私たちの予算を二郎さんが懸命に努力して維持してくださったおかげですわ。
いやでも今回の成果は劇的です。ひなみ沢症候群の病原体を特定し、今後の研究計画に具体的道筋をつけることができました。以後の進捗監査がとても楽しみになります。
これだけの成果があれば東京はねちっこく予算を削減しろとは言いますまい。
何しろ皆さんにお出ししている缶コーヒーの予算まで削られそうになったんですものね。
富武君、東京にしっかり報告して祝杯が挙げられるくらいの予算はつけるよう愚信してあげなさい。
無知ばっかりではいかんね。飴もないとね。
その飴は予算で還元していただけると一番嬉しいのですが。
And with that congenial atmosphere, our routine audit was over. Idia was surrounded and being questioned by National Institute of Infectious Disease workers who had joined the auditors.
高野さん、おめでとう。みんなの前では言えないけれど、今日の成果は全て高野さんの積み重ねによるものだよ。
ありがとう、二郎さん。
Jiro-san and I are the only ones here who know that strings were pulled in order to create the Idia Institute. So only Jiro-san can understand what I had to go through.
でもこれでようやく研究の舞台に立てたというところね。私の挑むべき相手がようやく同じ土俵に上がってくれただけ。
Her opponent.
正念場はこれからよ。そしてここからが最も楽しいところになりそうだけど。
それでね、今回の件で中川本部長の方からぜひ東京で報告会をしてほしいと伝言をことづかってるんだ。アルファベットの理事会もぜひ君と会合を設けたいって言ってたよ。みんな君に直接話を聞いてみたいようだね。
あらあら、二郎さんを経由した報告じゃ物足りないのかしら。
いやそういう意味じゃないとは思うけどな。きっと噂の美人研究員を直接見てみたいんじゃないかな。なんて。
You have
いや
terrible riz,
二郎さん
Tomatake.
失礼します。高野さんさ、東京からお電話です。
お待たせしました。高野です。
おお、元気にやってるかの。
小泉先
Oh shit, he's not dead yet.
生、わざわざお電話をいただけるなんてとても恐縮でございます。
いやな、みおちゃんの研究が大金星を挙げたという話が来てな。お祝いを言おうと思って電話したんだ。
ありがとうございます。はい、おかげさまで研究の第一段階であり最大の目標でもあったひなみ沢症候群の病原体特定に成功しました。
そうかそうか、ついにやったな、みおちゃん。天国で高野くんもきっと大喜びしているだろうの。
まだまだですわ。祖父はひなみ沢症候群の病原体特定などという段階を超えて研究していました。人の思想や意志が実は人以外の寄生的存在によって支配されていた可能性、それを暴いて初めて祖父の研究は偉業と称えられるのです。世界中の思想や宗教が全て寄生虫で説明できたなら世界はひっくり返るくらいの大騒ぎになるでしょうね。
It's kind of fucked, no?
それは愉快だの。偉そうに振る舞っとる宗教家連中が単なる寄生虫の親玉に過ぎんと立証されたら、ぜひそんな愉快なのを見せてくれ。みおちゃんがそれを見せてくれるまで私は天国のお迎えを断り続けてるからな。
Oh, he doesn't know he's dying soon. Klugi.
縁起でもありませんわ。でも楽しみにしていてくださいね。きっと世界中があっと驚く発表をしてみせますから。その時に初めて世界中が祖父の偉業を知り、祖父が残した資料を奪い合って読み合うことになるでしょう。そこまで至って私はようやく祖父への恩返しを終えるのです。
高野くんが羨ましいの。私はな、金なんかこんなにいらんか。この半分は捨ててもいい。あんたみたいな自分の志を継いでくれる孫が一人いてくれたらと思うよ。
ありがとうございます。
Does this guy like go around fucking like young girls all the time? Okay, I shouldn't say it like that. That sounds like he's a pedophile. Wait, low-key, he kind of is a bit of a creep, but
身に余るお言葉です。
how does he not have any grandchildren?
あとな、小泉のおじいちゃんからのプレゼントだ。みおちゃん宛てにな、祝杯用のワインを一本送らせた。
Nah, Chad, he might be a creep. Remember when he first saw Mio for the first time? With Dr. Takano? I don't know.
みおちゃんの家の住
And she was
所
still
が
a
わからん
little
かった
kid.
から診療所宛てにしてある。
It's the Koizumi files.
取り寄せに手間がかかってるらしいからちょっと時間がかかるかもしれんが、届いたらみおちゃんの研究を手伝ってくれた人たちを集めてそれを振る舞ってあげなさい。
祝杯用にワインなんて。はてさて、小泉先生からどんな高級ワインが届くやら。
そんな高級酒と違う。みおちゃんも覚えとらんかね。高野くんがいつも一本のワインを大切にしておったの。
I remember. That's right, my grandfather kept a certain bottle of wine. I don't know if he bought it himself or if someone gave it to him, but he treasured it, and he always said he'd open it when his research finally gained recognition. I was a child then, so I don't even remember what brand it was, but Mr. Koizumi would know. He went through all the trouble to find the same bottle of wine for this special occasion. For the first time in a while, Takano felt the same sunny warmth she experienced during her time with her grandfather.
ありがとうございます。
Oh my god, she's
小
gonna
泉
cry.
のおじいちゃん。
She's gonna cry.
やっぱり
You gonna
みおちゃ
cry,
んには
Takano?
そう呼ばれた方がしっ
You
くりく
bitch.
るの。どうもみおちゃんに先生と言われても自分のことだと思えなくてな。
What am I doing to my eye? I'm trying to fucking... I don't know, man. Like, sometimes my eyeball feels like it's fucking... And I need to like pop it out. I can't help but smile along with him. Because I think Tomitake and Irie were just having a similar exchange.
そう呼ばれる方がお好きでしたら
It's stage
人
2
前
for
以
real?
外では
Bro,
そ
I'm
う呼んで
telling
も
you,
結構
man.
ですわ
I
よ
think I have Hinamizawa syndrome. My eyeballs. Instead of wanting to rip out my throat, I want to rip out my eyeballs sometimes.
できれば人前でもそう呼んでもらえると喜ぶんだ
L5
が
soon.
の
Aware. I don't know exactly how old he is, but if he can laugh so energetically, he'll live for many more years to come. I guess the saying about living a long life is true after all.
私も高野くんも
Oh,
みおちゃんのような
that's
子
a
が
death
本
flag
当
right
の
there.
家族だったらと思うよ。本当にな。
My grandfather had his own family, of course, but because he was so into his research, he became estranged from his wife. They were legally married, but they lived separately. I never met his family when I was a child. I only met them after my grandfather committed suicide. During his latter years, my grandfather went into psychological despair and began to look at his life with cynicism. His condition became worse over time and he was shocked at his own dementia. He was afraid of living while his consciousness degraded, so he jumped off the rooftop of the hospital. Only my name was in his suicide note. None of his family members' names were in it. That's when all his relatives showed up and took everything my grandfather left behind. They were afraid I was going to get his estate. They had lawyers and all that, so I backed down. I asked for everything in his study in return. Those idiots don't understand the value of my grandfather's research. Damn, bro. Grandpa Takano fucking jumped off. They were actually happy to strike a deal out of court, and they could also get rid of the piles of paper and jars with human organs in them. They never even showed up once he was alive, yet like hyenas, they appeared after his death. I never let them put their hands all over my grandfather's research. Fortunately, I was able to protect my grandfather's soul from their tainted hands.
それでは長くなると悪いから困ったことがあったら孫娘のためにいくらでも一肌脱ぐからの。
ありがとう小泉のおじいちゃんミオはもっともっと頑張りますね
Okay, so Koizumi isn't dead yet, so we can't do the dead Koizumi one. Bottle of wine. Draft of the emergency manual. I feel like we're gonna do this one? No, okay. I mean, I guess we don't have the promise yet. Whatever the fuck the promise is. I think that we could do this one? No? I don't think we have any of these. Huh. Right, we don't have this. Okay. We don't have Rika fever either. We have Tomitake's fever. Satoshi does... We haven't gotten the footsteps. We don't even have Rena a single time yet. We never got a red capsule. So what the hell? Maybe she did, I don't know. I really don't think it's this one. Yeah, we don't have Rika Fever. I don't get what we're missing. Wait, chat. If we completed the one that was shattered, it stays shattered, right? Like, I did these. No, it fixes? Oh, did I not do these? Oh, I was under the impression I did these. Oh. Fucking goddamn it. Okay, that's why I was so confused. Like, like, are these done? Like, okay, it wouldn't make any difference to me if the experiment failed. However, Idia's extraordinary focus and attention to, because we did have Satoko's dissection plan canceled. Idia's extraordinary focus and attention to the experiment has avoided Satoko Hojo's hallucinating or turning into a vegetable during the experiment. And surprisingly, we see prospects of her returning to normal life despite reaching L5. C-103 still has many issues, but this experiment proved that even a person who has reached L5 can be cured. I didn't believe in it at first, but I guess I have to acknowledge Idia's hard work. Only Idia could have done this. He was tormented by the naive humanism and didn't want to make mistakes, and that is why he felt obliged to cure Satoko Hojo. The reason why I disliked Idia isn't because of his achievements or abilities, but because of that weakness. But this time I had to praise him.
入江所長のレポートを拝見しましたわ。脱帽と言わざるを得ません。
いえ、私の研究者としての職務を果たしたに過ぎません。その結果、医者としての職務も果たせたなら、私にとってはそれに勝ることはありません。
今やさとこちゃんは私たちにとって最も重要な検体になったと言っても過言ではないでしょう。何しろレベル5に至りながら生還した初めての人間なのですから。
Oh, we don't know that.
その通りです。彼女を社会生活に復帰させ、経過を見ながら長期観察に切り替えていきます。彼女には毎週日曜日にこちらに来てもらって検査を受けてもらえるよう話をするつもりです。
しかし C103 を日に3回も注射する義務と毎週日曜日に検査に訪れる義務を彼女にどう説明されるおつもりで？彼女には何の病気の自覚もないのに。
そこは今うまく納得してもらえる話を考えています。今考えているのは、私の研究論文に栄養剤の注射を毎日してもらい、毎週日曜日にその効果を検査する。その代わりに研究協力費としていくらかを支払うという感じです。
I guess Idia is determined to cure Satoko Hojo no matter what. He seems determined to keep her off the dissection table. He and I are in different positions, but I don't have any complaints about his naive ideals so long as they translate directly into passion for our research. If his plans can be put into effect and produce a different result than the dissection would, then they'll still be useful to the overall understanding of the Hinmazawa syndrome. I have nothing against Satoko Hojo. It's only that I see her as a research specimen. If she can be useful in that capacity without being dissected, that's perfectly fine with
日
me.
に3回もの注射となれば、これは本人だけでなく、保護者の方の同意も不可欠です。確か、ご両親が亡くなってからは、おじ夫婦に
Oh god, the
親権が
uncle
移
and
ってい
aunt
ま
are
し
just
た
gonna
ね。
take the money.
そちらに一度相談に伺おうと思います。メイへの怪しげな研究協力を承諾してもらえればいいのですが。
そのための研究協力費ですもの。月に10万か20万も振り込んでやれば大喜びしますわ。
$650? Damn! Almost $1,200 if it's up to 200,000 yen?
それだけの予算はありますか？
もちろん。二郎さんを納得させる資料を作りさえ
What
す
the
れば。
hell? If they were getting that much from Satoko, why the hell were they treating her like shit?
わかりました。それは私が作ります。あと、さとこちゃんに心労をかけないよう 指導しておく必要もあります。レベル5をぶり返すことになったら大変ですからね。噂ではおじ夫婦はとても現金な方だとか。金銭で丸め込むのは可能かもしれません。それらの指導も私の方できっちり行うつもりです。
I've heard Satoko-chan isn't getting along with her aunt and uncle. I never thought that would affect us in any way, but now Irie has to deal with them. Maybe he's developed some kind of sense of responsibility or duty as her guardian. I don't really care. The more responsible he feels, the more progress our research makes. That'll be a plus for me.
それはそうと H17 番台についてのレポートを。
ええ、入江所長の成果に比べれば足元にも及びませんが、一応の研究。
本当に皮肉ですね。彼女を錯乱から救う治療薬を作っていた研究所で、その傍らでは彼女を直ちに錯乱させる危険な薬が作られていたのですから。
Both the experiments are done. Irie wasn't involved in the H170 research. That was my work. In fact, even if I asked him, he wouldn't have agreed to be involved. This dangerous reagent was developed during the process of uncovering the mechanism behind how the pathogens controlling Satoko Hojo's brains could induce derangement or paranoia in their host. To put it bluntly, injecting H170 into a patient with Hinamizawa syndrome forced them to express terminal symptoms. It threw the brain into a simulated state of agitation, intentionally forcing the pathogen to grow unstable. If we continue researching this, it will be possible to drive anyone with Hinamizawa syndrome violently insane at any time. Studying the mechanism behind that will help to solve the syndrome's mysteries. So this study on H170 will be extremely important to future research. Also, this medicine has military applications as the client requested. At this point, there's absolutely no use for it. But once our research progresses a bit further, this H170 could be spread at the right moment to cause a certain type of reaction. Compared to a killer virus, it seems like a useless pathogen, but there's no way to detect it in a dead body, and it makes it look as though the person just went insane spontaneously, so it must have some useful applications. The Marco Polo Bridge incident threatened to end research on Hinamizawa syndrome before. A historically important incident like that couldn't have been created by a killer virus, but it's possible with Hinamizawa syndrome. The elders of the Alphabet Project, the sponsor of our research, can think whatever they want about that. I don't care how they use what I've learned. My purpose is to solve the mysteries of Hinamizawa syndrome and to make people realize how important this research is. Also to make people acknowledge my grandfather's accomplishments and achievements. Any military applications were just byproducts of the process I didn't care about.
クライアントにとっては高野さんの成果の方が喜ばれるでしょう。来期の予算取りが楽になるかもしれませんね。
情熱だけでは研究は続けられませんものね。先立つものがなければ。
これだけの潤沢な資金を提供してくださるスポンサーさんには頭が上がりません。これだけのお金が公費から出ているのですから。
日本という国は私たちが想像しているよりずっと公費は公費でも表に出せない黒。
Irie has no idea what I had to go through to get that money. Anyway, our research is going extremely well. We don't know what we'll find about Hinamizawa syndrome, but I'm sure every mystery will eventually be solved. I can hardly wait. What the syndrome indicates is that humans are simply empty containers, and what we believe to be our will is simply the actions of parasites that live in our brains. If that mystery was solved, it would have a greater impact than anything else in history. That is a truth which nobody wants to believe. This is an achievement my grandfather predicted back during his time. Ah, I know now. I know the reason why my grandfather was so fascinated by his work. Okay. Well, we got both fucking shits ready. Okay, now let's see here. We have, where's this? Okay, now we can do this. Rika has developed a high fever. Okay, there's Rika's fever. Now we can do the fever one. A very high fever. It's not flu season nor a season for any type of contagious disease. I could only think of the suspicious experiments Rika has gone through. Maybe the fever is being caused by those. Her growth is rather slow compared to other children her age. Receiving mysterious shots and going through experiments for every week, I'm sure her body is exhausted. I've asked the staff to go easy on her, but Rika herself is fearless and is willing to go through anything. My husband, who should be admonishing her for that, truly believes her story and is crucial to the lives of over 2,000 villagers and takes our own daughter to that clinic every week. I'm the only one who's sincerely worried about her health. That's why I want to ask Dr. Idiot to be a little more considerate towards Rika. Anyway, I have to talk to them about taking responsibility for this. Right after I called, a staff member came to pick up Rika to admit her to the clinic. As her guardian, I came with them.
落ち着いてください、お母さん。必ず救いますから。もうしばらくお待ちになってください。
これが落ち着けるかというんです。急にこんな高熱が出るなんておかしいじゃないですか。これも先週にやったというなんとかという怪しげな実験の影響じゃないんですか。リカはね、年相応の小さな女の子なんですよ。リカは友達思いだから病気にかかった友達のためにと。
分かっております。それに私たちの研究が間違ってもリカさんに悪い影響を及ぼすようなことはありえませんし、
だったらこのリカの熱は一体どういうことなんですか。
おそらくは季節の変わり目ですので。
風邪なわけないでしょ。あなたたちが妙な薬を注射したからに決まっています。
Dr. Idiot only told me to calm down and refuse to accept responsibility. My husband told me this is all for the sake of the village, and that's why I've held back my doubts until now. Well, I'm at my limit. Their existence has been suspicious from the beginning. They're conducting their research in secret using a privacy policy as an excuse. That was shady enough on its own. It's just impossible. In fact, I called the Ministry of Health and was told that wasn't true at all, even after I told them I'm Rika Furude's mother. The clinic even came up with stupid excuses saying normal workers often don't know of a special institute like theirs. That doesn't make sense at all. It's much, much too suspicious. Also, there are people who don't appear to be researchers working at the institute. They look like security guards, but they seem so different from normal guards at a normal hospital. In fact, one time I accidentally saw that they were armed with guns.
それはですね。
あの人たちは警察なんですか。とてもそうには見えません。
Aw, shit.
だいたいあなた方は何者なんですか。
She's on to them.
厚生省の人間だなんて私は今さら信じませんよ。
Dr. Idiot seems taken aback by my intensity and can't even answer properly. They're still hiding a lot from us. That tells me the research they're working on with Rika isn't anything
と
proper.
にかく私はリカの保護者です。リカはまだまだ子供です。あの子が何をどう返事しようとも今後は一切研究を手伝わせるつもりはありません。
あらあら、リカちゃんのお母さんではありませんの。
Uh-oh.
どうもこんにちは。あら、どうかなさいまして。
いえ、そのお母さんがリカさんをこれ以上研究に関わらせたくないとおっしゃってまして。
それはどうしてですか。
うちの子はあなたたちの実験動物ではないからです。
そう扱ったことなどございませんわよ。それは大きな誤解ですわ。
Why does Takano talk like this to people? I'm a little startled. Dr. Idiot is a weak person who backs down under pressure. Takano-san is different. I'm yelling at her, but she's not afraid at all. On the contrary, she's glaring daggers and looks as if she's about to jump on me.
リカちゃんの熱は風によるものですわ。私たちのせいだなんてとんでもない。私たちは安全や衛生には国立研究所クラスの注意を払ってます。失礼ですが、アルコール消毒もしない手でリカちゃんの手を引いて歩いているあなたより衛生的なくらいですわよ。
そんなことは聞いていません。とにかくリカはあなたたちのおもちゃじゃないんです。リカはもう二度とここへは連れてきません。
あなたの一存で決められては困りますわね。ご協力をいただくことについてご両親には契約書にサインをしてもらっているはずではございませんの。 研究に協力していただく見返りに決して少なくない額を毎月お口座に振り込ませていただいているはずですわ。
そんなお金私は知りませんよ。聞いたこともないです。
Rika receiving money for participating in the research really is news to me. Knowing my husband's character, he wouldn't have used it as spending money behind my back. I bet he thought of it as free service for the villagers and completely forgot about the money being deposited into our account. There haven't been any strange deposits in the regular account, so it may be in our savings. Anyway, I don't care about that.
契約を保護にされる場合にはそれまでの振込額を全て返還していただくことになっているのはご存知ですわね。
She could be making that shit up to make the two parents, like, split apart, you know?
他にも一方的な保護についてそち
So
らに非が
doubt
ある
into
場合
each other.
高野さん、落ち着いてください。お母さんもどうか。ひなみ沢症候群は以前にもご説明させていただきましたように、そのためにはどうしてもリカさんのご協力が必要なのです。
治療のためって、じゃあその治療薬はいつになったら出来上がるんですか？大体おかしいじゃないですか。リカの友達のさとこちゃんのためということでしたけど、そのさとこちゃんはもう退院して元気に、確か先々週にうちの人が話を聞いた時にももう治療のめどは立ったというようなお話をされていたはずですわよね。
ええ、目処はついた。ですがひなみ沢症候群の全貌を解明するためには。
全貌の解明なんか最初の話で聞いていません。リカが協力するのは村人の病気を治療するためのはずです。ならもう十分ではありませんの。皆さんがリカに怪しげな研究やら検査やらをしているのはあなた方の興味本位であって、治療とは何の関係もないんじゃありませんの？
そんなことはありません。とにかくリカさんの風邪の件は誤解なんです。もしどうしてもご不審ということでしたら。
とにかくお金の話もあるみたいなので、私も帰って夫と相談しますから。それでは失礼します。
They were just too shady from the very start. Because of their exaggerated story, Rika and my husband took their side, but it won't work on me. Anyhow, I must settle things with them right away, because Rika isn't their toy. I especially don't trust that woman called Takano. Dr. Ide seems to me like he's still a doctor, but she doesn't. How can I describe her? I guess I can say the glow in her eyes is just unpleasant. She only sees Rika as a guinea pig. I can feel cruelty emitting from her. Neither my husband nor Rika have noticed that. I must protect her. As a mother, I must protect Rika. Yo, Rika's mom was kind of locked in, though.
高野さんらしくもない。
Uh-oh.
あそこで喧嘩を買ってしまったら余計に話がこじれてしまうではありませんか。あなたらしくもないですよ。
そうですわね。ごめんなさい、取り乱してしまって。
Did something happen? Bro, this is a new Takano face. Did something happen to put her in a bad mood? Idia wondered. The heated conversation she just had didn't involve the Takano he knew. Wait, maybe at this point Koizumi-san died. Maybe Koizumi's dead? And that's why Takano's like fucking pissed? Let's see if we have another one we could do, which might mean... Okay, there's the fever one. But that would have been after. Okay, we could do this one. Gathering place inside of the Furude Shrine is in fact the headquarters of the Onigafuchi Guardians. Normally a shrine should be a calm and quiet place, but there are anti-dam signs everywhere, making it very obvious that what this location has become. There are over 30 members of the Guardians here at the moment, and they are having a heated conversation about their plans for the future. Although this meeting place is on the Furude family's property, it's a community facility, so it closes at 9 p.m. Of Of course, sometimes a discussion gets so heated that it goes on past closing time, but meetings are supposed to end by 9. If a discussion ends early, they usually chit-chat until that time. That's what usually happens. Of course, they mostly talk about the dam even when they chit-chat. They talk about someone's mistreatment at the government office or someone getting arrested unjustly, or complain that people at the dam construction site are too violent. Since it's idle chatter, the topics are slightly emotional, and because of that, there was a good deal of bad-mouthing the Hojos.
そしたらさ、回覧本捨てちゃったとか言い出すんだよ。普通に考えてそんなことするかね。
あそこの奥さんはさ、ちょっと勝ち気が過ぎて攻撃的なんだよ。この間もさ、ゴミ置き場で牧野さんとこのばあさんとすんげえ口論してて。
だいたいなんて言うかね。
Bobby, you only have one shirt because you spend your whole money on gachas and can't afford a shirt? No, I just have fucking a lot of very white and black shirts, okay? God forbid. Like, I don't really get other color shirts, bitch.
本当に粗暴だよね、あそこのご主人。理性がないというか。ああ、お前さんは地元説明会の時を見てないのかい？
Listen, say SpongeBob ass closet all you want. Ain't nothing wrong with SpongeBob's fucking closet, okay?
ありゃすごかったよ。なあ。あそこまで言うからにゃ、もう村にはおれんよ。さっさと出てけばいいのにさ。金がもらえないのどうのこうの。あさましいったらありゃしないね。
いや。理性のなさで言ったら、あそこの奥さんも。
それで、やっぱり遺伝なのかしらね。あそこのお嬢さん、買い物によく見かけるんで挨拶するんだけど、向こうから挨拶は絶対に返さないのよ。だから私たちバカバカしくなっちゃって。以来、見かけても知らないふりしてんだから。
それ言ったら、あそこの坊主もいつも暗そうな顔してるよな。
By now, the Hojo family has become the enemy of the whole village. Bad-mouthing the Hojo family was the greatest shared topic that anyone could easily contribute to. If he had known how peaceful the three families were, especially the Sonozaki family, and if he had known Oryo-san's character, he wouldn't have said the things he did. The Hojo couple are residents here. Though they were never very enthusiastic about the council activities, they should have known what kind of person Oryo-san is. He could have imagined just what would happen to him if he talked to her that way. Yet he let his anger take over and voiced his unpleasant feelings. So most people think the Hojo family brought their isolation upon themselves. This looks like we should have done this a while ago. And I just cracked it, and I didn't realize I fucking didn't do it yet. If they wanted to negotiate with the government regarding the move, they should have done so privately. Yet he was foolish enough to express himself at a public gathering like that. So not too many sympathized with the Hojo family. Ever since the big fight at the explanatory meeting, the Sonozaki family has looked at the Hojo family as their enemy and started to go after them. That caused the other pro-dam families to go quiet, fearing they'd be made into scapegoats too. And those who wanted to leave were bitterly forced to give up. Even those people started criticizing the Hojo couple, saying they could have gotten their compensation to leave if the two hadn't picked that reckless fight. Both the anti-dam and pro-dam people hate the Hojos now, and the family has become even more isolated. Moreover, the Hojos are both very aggressive. They should have stayed quiet at least until things settled down, but they didn't. That alienated the handful of people who took pity on them as well, so now nobody even says anything to them. All of that was immediately obvious by listening to the foul talk here and there at the gathering place. Rika always helps out by putting teacups away, so I'm sure she hears what they say as well. One of the Hojo family members they're mad-mouthing is Rika's friend, Satoko-chan. It hurts to think about what Rika feels while hearing that. As priest of the Furude Shrine, should I let this continue? Oyashiro-sama is a god who makes peace between enemies. When the humans and demons fought, Oyashiro-sama descended from heaven and mediated between both sides. As a caretaker of the shrine, I must do something before it goes too far. I'm sitting next to Oryo-san, who is spitefully disparaging the Hojo family. Oh shit. This is where he fucking... I think this is where he gets distrusted.
知らんやっちゃいな。あんの裏切り者には絶対お社様のたたりが下るんね。許されなかといな。
The elderly people cheer her on as they listen to her speak. If I barge in now, I have a feeling it won't be a peaceful conversation. But I have to make up my mind. As a priest of the Furude Shrine, also for the sake of Rika's friend Satoko.
お両北条さんの悪口を言うのはそろそろこれくらいにしませんかね。
なんで何倍よりおるんかいな。
いや、北条さんもそんな悪気はなかったと思うんだが、あまりいつまでも尾を引くのはかわいそうだと。
しゃーらしいね。おめあれを聞いちゃどんなすったらもあんとね。なあ、おしゃーらしい。ああ、しゃーらしいしゃーらしい。
Oryu-san is the head of the Sonozaki family, the heirs to the demons. She never forgives anyone who stands against her. So there's no way she would even listen to what I'm saying. Or what I'm trying to say. Oryu-san and the others became furious and refused to listen to me. I also mentioned that the damn construction plan will be cancelled soon, so they should calm down already. I said that because the staff at the ADA clinic told me that the government is putting some kind of pressure on the Ministry of Construction. But thinking that I'm being an opportunist, soon criticism of me began to circulate the room. After that, I realized that I'd become branded as a fence sitter. Oh no. 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 But how can I make a peace with people who refuse to listen? I destroyed their mood, so I just have to give up and shut my mouth. Then I felt the little hand on my back.
リカか、もう遅い時間だから家に戻っていなさい。
私たちがいくら努力しても届かない。
Rika looked into the distance while she spoke.
このよどみ切った村の悪兵は、そのよどみに住まう私たちにはどうしようもないのかもしれない。でも、希望をなくすものか。今にきっと、こいつらを打ち破ってくれる人がやってくる。今に、きっと。
Her eyes shone as if seeing a future that only the maiden of the Furude Shrine could see. All right. We don't have Toмотake promise. Okay, like that slide, like we ain't getting shit. So this one we could do now, because we have both of those. We have the fevers as well. I'm assuming we should do this one first. The situation has changed. Rika's father suddenly changed his mind about having her help out with the research. When Rika came down with a high fever the other day, her mother, who wasn't happy about her daughter helping in the first place, finally blew up. I was hoping the father would convince her somehow, but now he seems to be on her side. Rika's father didn't get emotional like her mother, but he demanded that we make our research plans for Rika clear, and that we finish our research within 3 months at most, which is completely unrealistic. Research can't have a deadline, that's out of the question. We cultivate results by grinding down our knowledge, skills, and time. To take time away from us is like taking away what's vital to live. How could he say such a thing? Curses, 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 curses. Rika's parents are only saying that because we don't know anything about scientific research. However, as they are the parents of the Queen Carrier, we are completely lost about what to do. Tests and experiments on the Queen Carrier are an essential part of our research into Hinamizawa syndrome. Her existence is the focal point of our work. To lose her would be like losing your sense of direction out in the open water. Rika is providing her cooperation with our research, but the withdrawal of her guardian's consent could be a setback. The situation is extremely dire. Rika's parents are only interested in finding a cure, but to me, the cure is only a small part of solving the mystery. I can't let her go. Are our differences causing this predicament? And it's not only them, the same is happening between Irie and me. He thinks it's inevitable that we need to stop the research if Rika's parents refuse to consent. That's understandable. From the beginning, Irie never had the determination to solve the mysteries of Hinamizawa syndrome. He won't back down from the research assertively, but he will passively by agreeing with Rika's parents. Is that the attitude of a researcher who's trying to unravel mysteries? He's the type of man who would step on my grandfather's research with his dirty feet. He is nothing but a coward who's in this half-heartedly. He started to feel guilty over his past the moment he saw blood. He isn't qualified to even be involved in researching Hinamizawa syndrome. He is simply an outsider who joined in because of this client's demands. If I were a man, he wouldn't be here in the first place. While it's true he produced wonderful results with his development of a cure, he seems to think it's alright to close up shop with that. Is he planning to waste everything by being satisfied with just that tiny result? That man doesn't have any right to discard my grandfather's research. I can feel my guts boiling. No. Irie isn't the main person at fault. The one to blame here is that woman, Rika's mother. If she wasn't so selfish, this wouldn't have happened. Maybe it's partly my fault. I maintained trust through relationships and obligations all this time. But somehow Rika's mother and I didn't get along, so I didn't try to socialize with her. I thought it was fine because I got along with Rika and her father, but now the mother has influenced the father and changed his decision. What negligence, what a reversal, what a blunder. Irie is saying we should talk to the office in Tokyo about what to do next, but I know once the Tokyo office finds out about this, they'll order us to shut the research down. I've worked so hard to even get things started. If they hear anything negative, they'll put a stop to it. I've come too far to complete my grandfather's research. I can't let it be stopped. I still have a little time to think about this. I need to calm down and analyze this carefully. I've always come up with a great plan when I drink my favorite tea and bite my nails like this. Alright, well, Takano killed Rika's mother, and then probably poisoned the fucking father. I looked up at the ceiling and closed my eyes as tenderly as possible. There were times where I couldn't find a solution, but someone else came up with a simple one. I've been able to overcome everything that's been thrown at me. I even endured the hell at the orphanage, so I will never let that woman get in the way. Settle your thoughts down. Think about this clearly. Be calm, Mio Takano. Someone else may come up with a better idea, but who? It's not me. It can't be Irie. Of course, nobody from the village will do. Do I talk to someone in Tokyo? No, I can't. I don't want to owe anyone a favor. Even Koizumi-sensei would be disgusted if he finds out I can't solve such a simple matter by myself. Ah, I know. There's someone I can talk to nearby. They are supposed to be my subordinates after all, so it's worth a try. I called the leader of the mountain dogs, Okonogi. The mountain dogs are my subordinates, but they're part of the self-defense force, and I'm just a researcher. So we never really had a chance to interact. He did what he was supposed to, and I did what I was supposed to, so I never even thought of discussing anything with him. But the mountain dogs are there to protect and support our research. Why didn't I think about talking to him before?
そら難儀な子ですな
God, this ugly bastard. I don't like this guy. A freak-ass motherfucker. He used to speak standard Japanese, but now he has a Hinamizawa accent. I guess fitting into the region is the first thing they needed to do.
このままだと女王感染者の協力が受けられなくなるばかりか、騒ぎ立てる母親によって研究所の所在が暴かれる危険性もある。山犬で何か手は打てる？
Kill the mother. Not really expecting an answer, but
了解しました。山犬で対応します。お時間をいただければきれいにやりますよ。対応？
警察沙汰にならんようにしますんで、少々の準備は必要ですが。難しい仕事じゃありません。
Speaking of mothers, how is yours doing?
She's great, Rhino. I don't know if she's as great as your mother because we had a crazy night last night. You and your mother and I. Yes, sir. I'm startled. Rika's mother is my enemy, but I was thinking about how I could convince her. But the leader of the Mountain Dogs, the counterintelligence unit, whose duty is to protect this secret research, came up with a much simpler plan.
それは殺すということ。
入江機関の機密保持にあたっては最悪の場合、それも持参ちゅう話のはずですが。もちろんご命令があって初めて実行することですが。
Right. This is a very simple problem to him. Rika's mother has started to interfere with our research. Not only that, but there's a chance she might talk to people about the Institute. So they will eliminate her.
それは確かにうまい手ね。うまくやれるの？
Oh boy.
そのために来ている我々ですね。大臣の孫の誘拐以来、久々の大仕事になりますわ。
Oh, there's the admission. Mountain Dogs are the ones who kidnapped the grandson of the Minister of Construction and used that to blackmail him. It has been a few years, so I completely forgot about that. They did such a marvelous job then. That's right, that's right, that's right. I have the Mountain Dogs on my side.
実行はすぐにでも可能？
ただ殺すだけなら今夜にでも。ただそれでは騒ぎが大きくなりますんで、周到に監視してからきれいに蒸発してもらうようお膳立てします。そのための時間さえもらえれば。
Just like a cat's eye under a bright light. I can feel something in the back of my eyes open up. Up until now, I've been racking my brain trying to figure out how to make her my ally, or at least make her surrender or pacify her. Yet one order to this man and the problem's easily solved. I feel like a bird taking its first flight. How easily I can get rid of that annoying mother. All I have to do is give an order. I feel grateful to Koizumi-sensei for giving me such terrific subordinates. What a wonderful power he has given me. I was taught that all people are equal. But if I have the power to control people's lives, then that means I'm more important than they are. What a feeling it is to be above others. Oh god. Wait, so what if Rika's mother is the reason Takano became a fucking psychopath?
消すのはフルでリカの母親だけでいいですね。
え？あ、いや、ちょっと待って。
Does he mean only Rika Furude's mother? I can feel chills all over my body. Possible. Maybe I should have her father disappear too. Rika is willing to help. She has no other relatives in the Furude family. Both parents die, she has to depend on someone. The Idia Institute can support her. We can give her status, money, and protection. We can give her everything. By doing so, maybe it's possible to make her one of us, rather than just having her as a helper. All my worries are melting away. Everything I was just concerned about seems like a joke now. I had such powerful subordinates all this time, yet I never realized. All my tension is being released and I'm starting to feel relaxed. I can feel myself regaining my cool head. I'm going to get rid of them. Rika's parents, that is. The Queen Carrier is my guinea pig. A guinea pig doesn't need parents. That's right. It's almost time for the Watanagashi festival. If they die in that day, people will call it the Curse of Oishiro-sama. The murder case from 2 years ago and the accident from last year are two separate incidents. Yet because they happened on the day of Watanagashi, they're called the Curse of Oishiro-sama. Then if her parents' death occur on this year's Watanagashi, it'll be Oishiro-sama's curse 3 years in a row. Miracle of Oishiro-sama, also the curse. I'm going to create them. This is a chance for me to ascend to godhood and toy with human fate. The incidents that occurred 2 years in a row are said to be a curse, but not everyone believes that. However, if it happens 3 years in a row, then everyone has to believe. Because that'll be a true curse that's created by me. I'll become Oishiro-sama. My desire for revenge against God is coming together.
ただ消すだけではなんだか面白みがないと思わない?
Okay, so like my issue with this though is didn't they do a ton of research to say the Queen Carrier needs to not be fucking like distressed, sick or anything like that because it could cause everybody else who has the parasite to like go haywire? So they're literally about to kill a fucking 70-year-old child's parents, both of them, just make him disappear. Would that not cause the Queen Carrier to go into high levels of distress? Isn't that mostly a theory? Yeah, but like, I feel like this is a fucking little bit of a plot hole where they completely forgot they said that about not fucking with the Queen Carrier too much. Because that's the whole reason they like don't want to upset, you know, the parents too much, and they don't want to upset Rika too much because it'll affect everybody else with the parasite. But then I guess it doesn't matter, you know? When I started to laugh, Okunogi grinned to show his interest.
私たちの手でお社様のたたりを作ってみるの。
I can't just let her die. She'll be demoned away and I'm going to enjoy dissecting her alive. What? No shot they dissected Rika's mother. Of course I won't just have fun. This will be extremely useful for our research. After all, she's a previous Queen Carrier. No, she's not. It's Takano fucking stupid. Rika's mom is not the previous Queen Carrier. It's only the fucking 8th generation of the Furude daughter, okay? Like, the fucking mother is the 7th gen, okay? Like, that's not how that works, bitch. Okay, so now execution order, war is declared by Oishi is there. We didn't do the fever one yet. Koizumi is still not dead. Tomitake promise is not up. Okay, let's hit this fever. Takano-san always comes along with me whenever I go to take pictures on a stroll. Oh shit, my food's here. Give me a second, chat. Alright, give me a second. Some chips and guac, baby! She might have discovered the joys of cameras, and I'm happy to gain a friend who shares the same hobby. No, she didn't, bitch. She's just risen you up. However, there's actually something else she's much more interested in. That would be the history of Hinamizawa. She frequently visited libraries and local archives to read through various documents and books. And when it comes to Hinamizawa, she's gained quite the extensive knowledge of the local history. When she's in a good mood, she tells me about things like how Hinamizawa used to be called Onigafuchi Village. Now the villagers were used to perform various cruel ceremonies based around the worship of Oyoshiro-sama. It seems she loves tales of violence and actually gave her a mysterious charm. On the other hand, I don't do well with grotesque things, so I can hardly say anything in response. The stories of cruel ceremonies that she gets excited about, I don't really get them all that well. However, with the way her eyes line up when she talks, I don't mind spending time with her, even if I have to hear about cruel things.
高野さんはそういうのを調べるのが好きだね。
Komatake, you had all the warning signs, motherfucker.
あら、だって楽しいわよ。封印された過去の暗黒史を紐解くなんて、とてもワクワクすることだとは思わない？
Takano-san smiled in a way that almost made it sound like a dark past is something fun. But of course it isn't. The dark history of Hinamizawa that she loves is something cruel and atrocious. Like the witch hunts in the Middle Ages.
それに、Hinamizawa症候群を調べる上でも、とても役立つことなのよ。何も顕微鏡を覗くことだけが調べることになるとは限らない。この寄生虫と長い時間を過ごしてきたこの村の伝承の方がよっぽど重要な何かを教えてくれることもあるんだから。
それもそうだね。うん。高野さんは本当に研究熱心だよな。
She's a baddie, to be fair. Look at her fit, bro. There's no way a real baddie dresses like this. She's only a baddie when she's in uniform.
だって研究こそ私のライフワークだもの。未知の神秘に踏み込み、誰も知らなかった秘密を暴くことってとっても楽しいことだとは思わない？知的好奇心をうずうずさせてくれる。
Hey, Nasty Byron, thank you for the 2 years. Welcome back. Huge too.
それは多分考えることに悦を感じることができる人間だけに許された最高の娯楽だと思うの。この研究の第一人者だった高野先生もHinamizawa症候群の研究に生涯を捧げるだけの何かを見出し、その魅力に取りつかれていたに違いないでしょうね。多分私だけがそんな高野先生の気持ちを理解してると思うの。研究者でない二郎さんには難しいかしら。
Holy shit, I just wanted my bagel with the 42 years. Welcome back. She always seems so enthusiastic every time she talks about the late Dr. Takano, an independent researcher who was the first person to discover the existence of the syndrome. There has to be something more than just her admiration as a researcher. Think of it. Dr. Takano's full name was Hifumi Takano. Takano-san's full name is Mio Takano. Not only are their last names pronounced the same, but their first names follow a similar pattern. They must be connected somehow. I don't know anything about Takano-san's personal history, but there's a good chance that her name is an alias. So it's very possible she chose a name to reflect the researcher she admires.
ひょっとして高野さんはだからミオという名前なのかい？いや、高野さんが尊敬しているその先生の名前が確か高野ひふみ。そして高野さんの名前がミオ。123の後を引き継いで34。彼が成し遂げられなかった研究を引き継いだからそういう名前なのかなって思ってね。
それを誰かに聞いたの？
え？いや今僕が適当に考えただけなんだよ。別に誰かが言ってたわけじ
ゃ。正解よ。鈍い二郎さんにしてはよくわかったわね。
Rude bitch.
いや、 高野さんがその高野先生をとても尊敬しているのは知ってたし、まるで自分が実の娘か孫で研究の正当な後継者だというような感じで言っていることがあったからね。なんとなくそんな気がしただけなんだよ。作家のペンネームだってほら、尊敬する作家のオマージュで名前を付けることもあるし。なら高野美代って名前もペンネームみたいなものなのかなって思って。
そんなことはないわよ。高野美代は本名よ。もっとも高野の高は鳥の高じゃなくて高い低いの高が正しいけれど。
え？じゃあ高野先生とは本当は同じ名字なのかい？
Now this bitch lying.
そりゃますますびっくりだね。
Don't believe her.
二郎さんたら運命的だなんて大げさな。別に運命でも何でもないのよ。
え
？Adopted granddaughter. I've never heard of them being related before. Not by
祖父の
blood.
研究を引き継ぐために予算をというと、まるで身内びいきのために予算を引っ張ろうとしているように見えて、印象が良くないというふうに助言をしてくれる人がいたので、高の一文字を変えたからなの。だから人前で高野先生が私の祖父だと話したのは、小泉のおじいちゃんを除いたら二郎さんを含めて他にいるかどうかという
Is this a dating sim? It's always been a dating sim. We're dating Oyashiro-sama.
そうだったのかい。はあ、なるほどね。君がひなみ沢症候群の研究に入江所長も驚くほどの情熱を見せる理由がちょっとだけ分かったよ。
There's an Oishi route? That would be funny if there was an Oishi route, but our boy Oishi's like forever a fraud now, so nobody respects him anymore. I understand very clearly now. She really did inherit the work of her grandfather, or she really did inherit the work her grandfather wasn't able to complete.
祖父も医学的見地からだけでなく、古文書などの文献からもひなみ沢症候群を探っていたの。
Oishi's a fraud? Bro. Hey, technically it's not a complete fraud because Rena's theories weren't completely off. Right? Because she was kind of on the money. But, like, none of that matters because he never... Oh, no. He technically was on the right track in the last chapter, but he got fucking domed, so... You know? But it took him fucking, like, 7 chapters to fucking actually get on the right track.
ひなみ沢症候群と何百年にもわたって共にあった村の文献を調べることは、何百倍もの倍率を持つ顕微鏡を除くより価値があり得るというのは、祖父が私に教えてくれたことなの。
なるほどね。だとしたら自分の完成できなかった研究をこれだけ立派に引き継いでくれたおじいさんはきっと喜んでいるだろうね。こんなに熱心な孫に引き継げてとても嬉しいはずさ。
そうだといいわね。
I said something Takano would normally tease me about, but she didn't. She nodded and smiled. There's no mistake. She is indeed the granddaughter of Dr. Takano.
祖父がひふみで1、2、3、私はミオで3、4。私は祖父を継ぎ、ようやく3を共に数えたに過ぎない。そして祖父の次の4を数え、私も祖父もまだ見ぬ5へ至らなければならない。それが私の使命であり、生まれてきた理由でもある。
それでミオという名前なんだね。素敵な名前だと思うよ。
ありがとう。私が孫だという話は内緒にしてほしいの。クライアントの人たちにも言っていないから。耳に入って痛くもない腹を探られたくないので。
うん、わかったよ。これは僕と高野さんの秘密ということで。
Although it's only a small secret, it feels good to think that I'm the only one who knows about it. Oh my god, bro. This guy's like the easiest motherfucker to sway.
私はようやく3を数えただけ。まだ4にすら至っていない。研究の道のりはまだまだ険しく長いけれど、私は最後までやり抜くわ。
Tomitaka is lucky he wasn't born
ひ
in
な
the
み
modern
沢
age.
症候群の秘密を暴く。
He would have been honeypotted by like 15 different e-girls on MMOs and scammed.
僕もそれを応援するよ。もともとそれが僕の役割だしね。
もう、
He'd fall
そ
for
う
those
いう余計な
Discord
ことを
kittens.
言わなければ十分かっこいいのに。
No,
一
I've
言
never
応
fallen
援
for
す
it,
るって
bitch.
言ってくれればいいのよ。
I've sometimes been the scammer.
するよ。君を応援する。
二度言い直してもダメね。一回で言えなくちゃかっこよくはならないわね。
No. If Takano had an OnlyFans in the modern age, and she had one of those AI chatbots set up, Tomitaka the kind of motherfucker to think the AI bot was really her talking to him and donated like his life savings. We laughed cheerfully together, and after we finished laughing, she became serious again and spoke as if to drive the point home.
だから二郎さん、くれぐれも私が孫だって言わないようにね。
言わないよ。約束する。
孫だからいけないということはないけれど、クライアントがそれを知って不快に思ったら予算を切られるようなことがあるかもしれない。
Does it matter that much?
そんなことはないと思うよ。第一、僕は喋らないしね。
Why? Yeah, this is Tomitaka's promise, but why does it matter that much?
絶対よ。本当の本当に絶対よ。私はこの研究のために命をもらったの。祖父の研究を完成させることだけが私の使命。踏みにじられた研究が世界を驚かす偉大なものであったことを証明し、土の下で朽ちる祖父をたたえさせ、神に昇華させること。それだけが私の生きる理由であり目的なの。もしそれを邪魔するような不用意な言葉をあなたがうっかり漏らして研究に支障が出たならば。
大丈夫だよ。ここで聞いた話は忘れるよ。
Yo, Tomitake, how many more red flags does this motherfucker need? This is literally Takano. Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Tomitaka's like, oh, I love you.
本当さ。いや、絶対に公開しない。
He's colorblind? He's something, bro. Holy shit, man. He is so fucking... He's so thirsty for the fucking Takano pussy or something.
僕は約束は守るよ。絶対に言わないで。
絶対よ、二郎さん。
I sensed something frightening within her for a moment. After that, she would end up possessed by it. I swore to keep the promise. Her intellectual curiosity as a researcher and her conviction to complete her grandfather's work are what stirs her passion for researching Hidemazawa syndrome. I think there's one more reason, but it's far too deep, and it's within a wound in her heart that someone like me should never touch. But earlier she said, if you create problems for my research, I wonder what she wanted to say after that. What do you think she would have said? Can't help thinking she wanted to say something terrifyingly merciless. I kept my promise with her, and we never talked about the issue again after that. You won't get it, little man? Love in 1983 was different? Oh yeah? You really? I don't think so, okay? I don't think so. Bro, he's a whole ass fucking like director in the SDF. If he wanted to get a fucking girl, he could probably easily get a girl. Alright, come on, man. This fucking Tomatake bitch, motherfucker's just too thirsty. Alright, there's a promise. Let's get this shit. What in the music? Oh, Koizumi-san. Koizumi-sensei is dead. Oof. I never heard he was ill or wasn't feeling well. His chest started to hurt suddenly and he couldn't sleep. He called an ambulance for the first time in his life because he didn't think he could endure the pain. He was taken into emergency care, but he didn't live to see morning. It was an acute myocardial infarction. Infarction? But maybe it was the best possible way to go. Instead of being in bed for many years, slowly dilapidating and withering away, he was healthy until his death. So I think he must have lived a wonderful life. But still, it was too sudden. I wish I had called him Uncle more. It's too late though. Uncle Koizumi would never smile at me again, with his wrinkly old face, no matter how many times I called for him. He was my guardian until now. He always looked after me, making sure my efforts received proper recognition. Maybe he only did that because he couldn't help my grandfather when he was alive. But still, he was an important person to me. He wasn't just my political backing. But I didn't realize that when he was alive. I only thought of using his power for my own agenda. But after he died, I realized Uncle Koizumi was my grandpa too. He provided the warmth and protection that I longed for from my own grandfather. At his funeral, I shed tears that I thought that I forgot how to.
おじいちゃん、今までありがとう。もっとおじいちゃんって呼んであげればよかったね。
No matter how many times I called to him, he would never reply. What I can do for him at this point is complete my research. I must accomplish my goal for his sake. When my grandfather's research is finally acknowledged, Uncle Koizumi's name will be known once again for being the sole supporter of his endeavor. I believe that's the best way to repay him for everything he has done. I vow to devote myself to my work even more from this day on. But, unfortunately, hardships and sadness tend to come together. It was like the tailwind that blew steadily until today suddenly became a headwind. The wind shifted far too suddenly. So strong, so cold, so sad.
どういうことなの、ジローさん。
小泉先生が入江機関設立の立役者だったのは高野さんも知ってるよね。関係機関でなかなか承認の取れなかったのを小泉先生が強力に抑え込んで無理やり通させたって話なんだよ。何しろ医薬品業界で絶大な功績を挙げられた戦後日本復興の重鎮だからね。政財界に絶大な影響力を持たれていたし。
その小泉先生が亡くなって小泉先生が通した無理やりが通らなくなったということ。
あくまでも噂なんで本当のところは僕にもわからないんだけど、一部の予算配当やプロジェクトの見直しが行われるらしいというのを聞いたんだよ。
入江機関が廃止されるということ。
いや、入江機関を見直すというのは聞いたことないけど、ただ小泉先生の死後、長老たちの派閥や勢力、後継者争いがややこしくなっているってもっぱらの噂なんだ。すでにクライアントの人事にかなりの影響を与え始めてるらしいんだ。 それで小泉派が主導していたプロジェクトや聖域予算に対し締め付けが行われるんじゃないかって憶測が飛び交ってるらしいんだよ。もちろんそれらは全て僕にとって雲の上の話だからね。伝え聞いた噂話でしかないんだけれど。
Jiro-san kept saying they were rumors, but that told me the wind's direction has changed. Or maybe Jiro-san already knows everything and is simply trying to warn me about it. And then at our next routine audit, Jiro-san made it clear with his own mouth. High-ranking government officials who had never came here before attended the routine audit along with Jiro-san. Just by seeing those faces, I can tell the turning point is approaching.
ご存知の通り、アルファベットプロジェクトは戦後日本の国際的な地位向上を目的としたものです。ですが、すでに昭和も50年代に至り、西暦は21世紀を間近にしております。
In this day and age, we must put the past behind us and start looking forward to a new world. He meant exactly what he said. Japan has already put the past behind, and it's cutting off its ties to the ghosts that wish to resurrect the militaristic might of the pre-war era.
戦後40年間、我が国は世界への平和的貢献を模索し、国際的地位を確立するに至りました。
40 years? It's not 1985. Bitch, learn how to do math. We have a strong alliance with the United States, and our nation has established its position in world affairs well enough.
日本は国際社会において重要なポジションを担う国家として成熟し、来世紀にはますますにその存在感を強める。
He's obviously rounding. He's a government official, okay? You need to be exact in these things. The Alphabet Project, the main sponsor of the Idiot Institute, are a group of people who want to develop a weapon that would act as a deterrent to nuclear weapons which Japan is forbidden to own. So they've come to the Idiot Institute, one of its branch organizations, to tell us Japan has now renounced nuclear arms. So the Idiot Institute will be facing a strong, cold headwind from now on. The roll of the die that came up with 1 on that stormy day has reappeared. I won't let the results of a die affect me. The power of my will won't be beaten by some god's roll of the dice.
よって現在時代に即した形になるようアルファベットプロジェクトの見直しを進めています。新生アルファベットプロジェクトは国際交流と経済発展の二軸からなる平和外交の見地から日本の地位向上を模索していくことになるでしょう。
All the people who hold tremendous influence in the politics and economy of Japan were born before the war. So naturally, they want to regain the glory of pre-war Japan. The very idea that we can win next time if we research the new bomb that defeated us is itself a specter of the war. No, everyone already realized that. It was just that no one could speak out against the grandstanding elders they owed their gratitude toward. Soon, the old will wither away and the new generation will take control. Uncle Koizumi was, in a way, the last remaining pillar for the old generation. His death is a chance for the new generation to step in. The things they couldn't argue openly are now being discussed. They've pointed out that from the beginning, the Alphabet Project was created for the personal satisfaction of a small group of people, and it sucked money out of the treasury, and so the new generation of politicians have taken over from the old.
よってアルファベットに関わるすべてのプロジェクトで今後大幅な予算の見直しが図られていくことになります。これはもちろん入江機関も例外ではありません。どうかご了解をいただけますようよろしくお願いいたします。
わかりました。私たちもスポンサーあっての研究です。どうかよろしくお願いいたします。
Idiot responded appropriately, but he's obviously bewildered. The best equipment and staff are being provided to the Idiot Institute. In other words, our research requires a huge amount of money. For those with no interest in Hinomazawa syndrome, they probably won't be able to understand why that much money is being put into the research of disgusting parasites. If they're simply going to revise our budget, that would be fine. We were receiving more than enough money. that would naturally be adjusted. It hurts, but we can endure. That's what I thought. But if just enduring it was enough, it wouldn't be a one on the die. So even in that sense, this is definitely a roll of a die coming up as one.
でありまして、この4月に新体制の理事会が発足し、全プロジェクトに対する新方針が示されました。これにつきましては、お配りします資料をご覧ください。
His papers were then passed around. He started to go over the details, but I read through quickly so I could learn about the stupid decisions first.
入江機関はこれまで先進的な研究において数々の目覚ましい成果を上げられ、未知であったひなみ沢症候群の全貌解明、そして治療薬の開発を成し遂げました。理事会でもこの成果は大変に高く評価しています。これもすべて入江所長以下入江機関全職員のたゆみない努力によるものと思っております。
いえ、恐縮です。
Even while he received the congratulations, a tense atmosphere surrounded me and Irie. It's customary to start the conversation in the opposite way you're planning to take it before delving into your main point to convey. Why are you reading with a Japanese accent? The fuck you mean I'm reading with a Japanese accent? If the main issue is something good, then start with something bad. Or vice versa.
入江機関の研究目的は2つありました。ひなみ沢症候群の研究と治療法の確立、そして多面運用の模索です。新生理事会はこの後者の多面運用の模索については即時の中止を決定しました。これらの研究開発が国内で行われていた事実と痕跡は今後はむしろアキレス腱になりかねません。入江機関は直ちにこれに関わるすべての研究を中止し、一切を破棄してください。
わかりました。ご指示に従います。
Irie replied with that immediately. Irie was assertive about finding a cure, but was never even remotely interested in researching the disease's use for military purposes. So I'm sure he has no qualms about concurring with such demands. But I don't agree, because our research will be more limited if we're just trying to find a cure. To me, finding that cure is simply a byproduct of my larger goal of discovering everything about the syndrome.
また、入江機関につきましては、最長3年以内をめどに研究の収束を図ってまいります。予算もそれに合わせ段階的に縮小する方針です。
ちょっと待ってください。近年ようやくひなみ沢症候群の全貌が分かり、今まさに治療法の研究を進めているところです。確かに研究は日々進んでおりますが、3年という短い期間で確実に完成させられることをお約束はできません。
Am I going to X this year? I go to X every year.
理事会では入江機関はすでに治療薬について十分な研究を完成させているという認識です。すでに入江機関は治療薬 C117 を完成させ、その臨床データを多数。
いえ、完成なんてとんでもない。まだまだ試薬の域を出ず、村人全員を治療できる目処は全く立っていません。このような段階で研究終了ありきでの議論は全くもって無謀としか言いようがありません。
I'm surprised that Irie objected. Thanks to him, I didn't have to say anything. But if Irie hadn't objected, I'm sure I would have shrieked in protest.
それでは入江機関には現時点では感染者全員を治療し、ひなみ沢症候群を撲滅することは不可能だということですね。
そうです。もちろん村人全員の治療とひなみ沢症候群の撲滅は将来的には不可能なことではありませんし、私もそれを最大の目標にしています。ただそれには十分な時間が必要で、そのためには無論予算も必要です。私たちは調べ、実践し、確立する仕事をしています。設計図に従ってものを作り、期間があれば必ず決まった成果が出せる仕事とは事情が違います。 どうかそこを誤解なさらないようにしていただきたいです。
I guess Irie speaks out when he needs to. And what he's saying is absolutely right. Research isn't something guaranteed to produce results with money and time. But I disagree with some of the things he said. He's objecting about the time and the money, but he's basically agreeing to limit our research only towards finding a cure for Hinamizawa syndrome. That won't do. We won't unravel any mysteries that way. At that rate, the discovery of the Hinamizawa syndrome won't be recognized as my grandfather's great achievement.
なるほど。入江所長のおっしゃることもごもっともと思います。
Yo, when's Takano gonna realize
私
her
どもにとって
grandfather
の
is a
最大
fucking
の目
fraud?
的は軍事目的の研究が行われていたことの完全な
That's the
破棄
real
です
issue here.
よって南沢症候群という特殊現象が研究されていた痕跡とそもそも存在していた事実についても隠蔽すべきであると考えます。最終的に南沢症候群が世間に知られることなく撲滅されるならば、そのための期間と予算は必要不可欠なものでしょう。それについては今後協議を重ねていくということでよろしいでしょうか。
はい、依存ありません。
では入江機関はできるだけ早急に南沢症候群撲滅を秘密裏に行えるプランと予算案を作成提出してください。極力ご指示を汲み取れるよう努力します。
わかりました。早急に提出いたします。
誤解ないようにしていただきたいのは、私どもはあくまでも研究を直ちに中断させようというのではなく、円満な形で研究を終了させようということです。この違いをご理解ください。
ええ、もちろん理解しております。
While I was listening to the conversation, I was struck dumbfounded with something they said. Eradicating the syndrome in secrecy. In other words, it would be as though Hinamizawa syndrome never existed. So my grandfather's name will never be revered by anyone. The sound of rustling papers and hushed proceedings filled the meeting room, but I only heard the ticking clock as I clutched my sweating palms. This fucking Takano pussy didn't say shit this whole meeting. Fraud ass bitch. Okay. Okay, we could do this. Koizumi's dead as well. We have not gotten anything about Satoshi stuff. It's because I think the third year hasn't happened yet. We need third year's issue to happen first. So we're like ramping up towards the third year curse. So, yeah. We need the Rika's parents to fucking die.
今日はこれくらいにしようか。気が乗らないみたいだからね。
え？あら、そんなことはないのよ。そう見えたならごめんなさいね。
Takano-san has been looking through the viewfinder, but I haven't seen her push the shutter at all. While she came along, I don't think she's in the mood for birdwatching today. Takano-san has been depressed ever since the announcement of the new policies at the board meeting the other day. That's understandable. The Idiot Institute was created by her in the first place. It was created so that she can devote her life to researching Hinamizawa syndrome. For all that to be tossed aside while being asked to wrap up work within a few years, of course she's depressed. Besides, she can't even fully spend the rest of the time left on research. Their funding was being cut in stages, and by the end they'll barely be able to finish closing up, let alone research anything. I heard that she's the granddaughter of the late Dr. Takano. Her determination to finish her grandfather's research is what kept her going until today. Since everything has been going so smoothly until recently, this sudden change in the wind's direction must have been a total shock. The shift in people pulling the strings must be pretty serious. The board of directors was completely changed out, and she heard that people and projects influenced by Koizumi's faction were being restructured to set an example. The wind's new direction seems likely to remain for a long time. It's highly unlikely that Koizumi's faction will come back into power, so no matter what we say, it's almost impossible to expect the same kind of support from them. Takano-san muttered. Unfortunately, there isn't. There is nothing anybody can do.
最初理事会では即時研究を中止という話も出たんだ。それをなんとか納得させて数年間で段階的に終了というところまで勝ち取ってくれたんだよ。入江機関発足で僕たちを世話してくれた人たちがね。
なるほど。一見最悪と思えるこの状況も、それでも陰で誰かが勝ち取ったギリギリの成果なのね。
それで勝ち取った期間がせいぜい3年なんだ。僕も一応努力はしたんだよ。高野さんが今日までに作った資料を理事会に説明し、とても重要な研究であることをアピールしたつもりなんだけど。
それでも3年でおしまいなのね。
Maybe Takano-san doesn't understand how hard I tried to convince them. Because what she just said tells me the length of time left really doesn't matter to her. The important thing is that her research is being stopped. Fact is that I couldn't meet her expectations and made her feel disappointed. As a man, it kind of hurts.
僕にできることは、せめて研究が畳まれるまでの数年間、心残りがないよう研究できるだけの予算をつけるための根回しをしてあげることだけだ。ごめん、こんな程度のことしかできなくて。
いいのよ。それが二郎さんにできる精一杯なのなら、それでとても嬉しいもの。
Is this before or after third Watanagashi? It's before. Rika's parents haven't died yet. Or no, yeah. Her words hurt me. I wish she'd chosen different ones, but I think that would be asking too much from someone so heartbroken. I must be understanding of her pain at a time like this. Besides, I know how close she was to the deceased Koizumi-sensei. She even called him uncle. To her, his death is not just the start of a coup or a change in direction. She lost a person who was always looking after her. No matter how hard she pushed herself to act villainous, she wasn't supposed to be part of this world. She was just an ordinary woman, but she was intrigued by Hinamizawa syndrome and she had to find help from someone who had more power than her to be able to continue research on it. The dark side of the world she would never have gotten involved in, extended its hands out to her. She was left all by herself in that world and she's still trying to put on a brave face. I'm sure Takano-san thinks I'm unreliable. Realistically, I'm not the kind of person who can meet her expectations, nor do I have the power to. The least I can do for her is stay sincere and remain her ally until the very end. Since she had so much room to act, it's harder for her to determine what actions to take when she's cornered. I wanted to believe she wouldn't, but I'm concerned that she might do something drastic eventually. I hope I can be of help to her in that very final moment before she makes her move. But I can't even gain enough trust from her to do that. How pitiful and pathetic. Of course, part of it is, as a man, I want her to rely on me. Wow, Tomitake, you pig. But that's not really it. She's been abandoned in this world and is all alone, so someone has to be her ally. And if I'm the only one who knows about that, then being her ally is my holy white knight loser fucking simp. I know her too well, so I know that she'll never ask for help. Even if she says it's unnecessary, someone has to be with her, I know that. I don't really think I'm suited for that job. I'm sure that there are many reliable people out there who are more appropriate for the position than me, but I can't let her be alone until that person appears.
高野さん、僕は全然頼りがいもないし、みっともない男かもしれないけど。
Oh my god, the classic self-deprecation into like, oh my god, bro, this fucking, he's such an NPC, man. He's just a fucking, he's literally an NPC.
それでも頼ってもらえたらきっと力になれることもあると思うんだ。だから
fucking the oldest move in the playbook.
ありがとう。でも私、喋るだけでも心が軽くなるっていうの。
Ooh, rejected pussy bitch. Get out of here.
ごめんなさいね。気にしてもらえるだけでもとても嬉しいわよ。
そうかい。ならいいんだ。僕はずっと味方だから、それだけは信じていてほしいな。
もちろん信じてるわ。理事会をうまく説得できる方法があったらぜひ教えてね。
僕なりにも努力してみるよ。
Why is it? I know she's such a strong person, and there's nothing someone like me can do for her. But somehow, I feel she needs help and support right now. She looks as tough as ever, but only I, who has been taking pictures of her all this time, can tell. A viewfinder, after all, is also a window to look into someone's heart. But if I say something like that, she'll tease me again, so I won't. Anyway, I never thought she needed support more strongly than I do right now. Bitch, she's gonna fucking kill you. Okay. Let's do one more. Last one. Last one right here. Deep down, I was prepared for something to happen tonight, once again. The first year, the workers were stirred in a frenzy, killing and dismembering the old man. Second year, the Hojo couple were killed through a fake accident. Since the dam protests, only people who have been hated by the villagers died on the day of Watanagashi. Some people in the village were calling the incidents the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Oh, is Lily here? Hi, babe. Now that the dam protests are over, there would be no meaning in the village's enemies being killed on the night of the festival, I thought. If that was true, then there was still some enemies left over. I thought that perhaps that would happen again on the night of the festival 3 years in a row. My hunch was right. At first, however, it looked so natural that I didn't think anything of it. Is this Oishi POV? The festival was nearing its end and the village officials were gathered under the main tent. They opened their beers and enjoyed the leftover corn and braised cow tripe from the refreshment stands. I was in the main tent too, being entertained by the villagers, so I was actually there at the scene of the 3rd year's incident when it happened. Yet I didn't notice anything at the beginning. Most of the older folks in the village were heavy drinkers, but a few were lightweights too, so it's Rika's dad. Oh wait, no, maybe... Okay, this might be Oishi just seeing someone speak to Rika's dad. The priest was one of the latter. The priest was a representative as well as a host during Watanagashi festival. So every time visitors and guests arrived, he greeted them, and each time he was offered a drink. So by the night's end, he was pretty worn out. That's why I didn't think anything of it to see the priest sitting by himself in a folding chair. The mayor, Kimiyoshi, was the one to tap his shoulder and ask him if he was alright.
飲みすぎだよきっと。何？胸が苦しいの？
すみません。ちょっと疲れたようです。
The poison?
あれ、あんた心臓やってたっけ？急に痛くなるのは良くない兆しだよ。入江先生！先生！
どうしましたか？胸ですか？それは良くないですね。
Oh, bro, dead. When I saw what was going on, I noticed he was covered in terrible sweat and was definitely not relaxing in his chair and enjoying the cool evening breeze. His face was a sickly pallor, and I thought he should lie down immediately.
ちょっと診療所にお連れした方がいいかもしれません。大丈夫ですか？私の肩につかまれますか？
おいおい、誰か手伝ってやれ。
神主さん、 調子が悪いらしいぞ。
うちの人どうかしたんですか？あなた大丈夫？
高野さん、ちょうど良いところに。神主さんの具合が悪いようなので診療所に連れて行きます。すみませんが、境内の下に車を回してもらってもよろしいですか？
ええ、お安いご用ですわよ。
It's an emergency and she's giggling! How is nobody like, why is that bitch giggling? This good person's having like heart problems. Bro, ain't no way someone hears this shit is like, that's just a perfectly normal response. So the priest and his wife headed to the clinic with Dr. Irie. I don't know about young people, but the elderly know their own bodies well. They almost never push themselves to the point where they start feeling ill. Especially someone like the priest. It was hard to imagine him drinking himself sick. The cumulative experience of my years was telling me something. I headed to the Irie clinic just in case. Tried to follow their car, but because the festival was almost over, all the stands were closing up. There was a lot of traffic going in and out, making it almost impossible for me to leave the temporary parking lot. More than 20 minutes had passed since the priest was carried in by the time I arrived at the clinic. 20 minutes. If it hadn't taken me 20 minutes, my involvement in this year's incident would have been quite different. I regretted not leaving on foot the moment I realized how hard it was to get out of my car out. All I get to do now is jot down the facts, because between the time the priest left the festival and the time I arrived at the clinic, during those 20 minutes, this year's curse had taken place. The priest's condition changed for the worse right after he arrived at the clinic. He died. The autopsy results say it was heart failure, but how can I accept that? I don't think the priest was having the health problems, and everyone was taken by surprise by this sudden event. Moreover, the wife of the priest disappeared too. According to the clinic staff, she was with him right after he died, but she's nowhere to be seen now. Of course she's not at home either. Maybe someone poisoned the priest. During the dam conflict, the priest was frowned upon for his remarks. He said there was no need to make a big fuss because the dam project would be cancelled anyway. The old villagers like to hold grudges and hadn't forgotten that. So even I had heard word of them talking about how the priest wasn't fit for the shrine to Oeshiro-sama. I called for backup and had them go search for the missing wife. With last year's falling couple incident as precedent, it was easy to believe both wife and husband could become victims. The village's young group got organized and searched from the village to the mountains, and as a result, we found a set of sandals and a will by the edge of the Onigafuchi swamp. The will said something about how her husband's death was the curse of Oeshiro-sama, and she was throwing herself in the swamp to calm the god's anger. In other words, she committed suicide by jumping into the swamp. Legends say that the swamp is bottomless and is connected directly to hell. Once you sink, you'll never come back. Divers from the police department searched the swamp, but her body was nowhere to be found. The past two mysterious incidents were solved individually, just as the higher-ups say, but something is odd about this year's mysterious death. The ill priest was carried to the clinic, his wife accompanied him. Within 20 minutes, the priest died of heart failure, and the wife either committed suicide or disappeared. The death of the priest may really have been a fatal heart attack, but for his wife to assume that it was the curse and to commit suicide by jumping into the swamp, for all that to happen in 20 minutes just doesn't seem natural. The Furude family has no relatives. Even if she was a true believer in Oeshiro-sama, how could she commit suicide while leaving behind her one and only daughter? Irie is hiding something too, but he's just a village doctor, which means he's nothing more than their pawn. If this is all a conspiracy to assassinate the priest, then there is someone who's pulling the strings. I had been starting to think that trying to tie the past two incidents to the village so forcibly was a bit overbearing of me, but this incident was enough to convince me that this series of cases involving mysterious deaths in Hinazawa were all grounded in one intention. This incident has countless numbers of discrepancies, but someone from the village seems to be putting pressure on high command. And just like the past incidents, this one will be treated as an individual case and end up being forgotten. Since it happens 3 years in a row, everyone in the village will say it's the curse of Oeshiro-sama. I think that's the culprit's goal. After the war, belief in Oeshiro-sama became antiquated. Fuck. Is someone committing these murders as a ritual to restore that god's divinity? The one pulling the strings must be the Sonozaki family. This fucking bum. A few months passed. Orio Sonozaki said something like, it was natural for that priest to be cursed by Oeshiro-sama, and so the priest's case was lumped together with the mysterious Hinazawa deaths, otherwise known as Oeshiro-sama's curse. You know, half this shit wouldn't happen if this dumb bitch Orio just shut the fuck up. Cause like every time she yaps, it makes it sound like the Sonozakis did shit. At first, I simply wanted to avenge the old man. But now that case had grown into an abnormal one, centered on the village's faith. Damn it, the old man's killer is human. I won't let it be pushed off onto some nonsense curse. You see the 416 figure? One seventh, 144 BB buttons. I've never heard of BB buttons. It's a good brand. Oh my god, look at those fucking cheeks though. I need to see the face. The details seem good, but I need a closer look at the face. They're like kind of not really showing her face very well. It looks alright. I just don't know this brand. They seem to be alright. Seems alright? I can't really tell. I don't know. Not sure. Looks alright though. Alright, chat. And with that, I think that's where we wrap up for today. Pretty... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Almost lost all. Pretty good progress here. Let's see here. How many are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I mean... okay, we're almost at the end game. Because we're on year 3, right? And we get the red capsule from here, and now we go towards year 4, and it's all Satoko stuff left. Or Satoshi stuff. And then it's fucking end game. So... Alright. Not bad.
What do you want? What do you want, you stupid rat? What do you want, huh? What do you want? What do you want? Ah.
Okay, come on, get off my ass. Alright. Well, let's wrap up for today. Get off me, you dog. God. What a terrible song to end stream on. Unacceptable. Alrighty, chat. I hope you guys had a wonderful time today. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have you seen the added Haru Urara on Steam front page? That's kind of cute. Okay, dokey. I'll send y'all over to... How about I send you guys over to OK Chode? I don't think I've rated code in a long time. See y'all tomorrow, chat. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye. He's playing fucking Shitlock. But, you know, he seems to be obsessed with it. He's playing that every fucking...